Welcome to Curious Foods. Are you done? Let's go.
If I was done, I wouldn't be doing it.
Welcome to Curious Foods. Now for the intro. Yesterday, Magnus gave me a challenge.
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. I did not like the challenge. Well, initially I was quite happy about it.
When do you like the challenge?
When I win. Today, hoping to get some good food.
Well, it should be good because you've had a day to prepare, which, by the way, means that I'm going to be judging you very harshly.
Fine.
But you had to follow one rule. As few ingredients as possible. You can use 3 ingredients.
Plus.
If you go over 3 ingredients, I will deduct 1 point for each ingredient above 3.
And here's where we differ, because I don't think salt and pepper and some butter is an ingredient.
Do they add taste? Do they add something to the dish?
Well, yeah, but then it will just be like a steak and salt and pepper. That would be the best thing I could make with just that. No, actually, that would be terrible because I'd need butter. So it would be steak and salt.
Yeah, but then you would be using butter for cooking.
Well,
to stop
an
the
ingredient
steak
is
from,
for cooking.
No, it's for adding taste.
Yeah, and you add taste when you fry it in butter.
Yeah, sure, but you still need to fry something in oil or butter.
No, you don't. You can fry it without.
Well, okay, then you don't
because
get to
then
use...
you have non-stick.
I'll remember that for later. You don't get to use butter for frying.
This is why we bought a new pan, because that then doesn't stick. No, but the idea was, at least in my mind, that I could use a little salt and a little butter and a little pepper, and then I changed the definition of little.
So yeah, you want to add salt, pepper, and butter to whatever.
A lot of it, yeah.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
You have 3 ingredients.
Plus salt, pepper.
Salt, pepper.
So I have 6 ingredients in total.
Yeah, that's more.
Comment down below. Should salt and pepper count as, ingredients in this kind of challenge? Anywho.
Anyway, okay.
In the research of finding this, it was quite difficult. So what I did was I found about 2 hours ago an ingredient, a recipe on YouTube for a 3-ingredient pasta Alfredo.
The recipe said this is a 3-ingredient dish.
Well, yeah, YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube. And it did not count salt, pepper, and butter as one of those 3.
It didn't count salt and pepper, no.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna follow the YouTube dude, whoever that was, because we all know we can trust people on YouTube.
And
I'm not gonna count salt and pepper.
But I did add one thing. Because he counted butter.
Yeah, so I'm going to.
So I'm not going to, well, you could. So I am not going to count butter because I also picked up some fresh basil.
I just gave you salt and pepper. So
that's fine, it's fine. So it's a 4-ingredient recipe.
For your 3-ingredient challenge.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
get started.
See what you can do.
All right, guys. I got my water boiling. We're going to use... This is a regional pasta called Gigli, which means lily. It's from the Tuscany area. You can use whatever pasta you want. However, the one thing that you have to do is heavily salt your water. And the reason why we do this is because we're not going to add any type of seasoning afterwards. All our salt is going to come from this. Whatever pasta you're using, choose the one that you like, and then look at the timer, how long it needs to cook. Because you want to take it out at least a minute or 2 before this, before it's al dente, because we're going to finish cooking it in our sauce. Just going to take that and just stir a little bit, make sure that they don't stick. Now, what I need is the water here for our sauce. I need about 1 to 2 cups, depending on how much sauce that you need. And then, yeah.
Okay, so the pasta water is going to be the basis of the sauce.
Yes, another ingredient.
Well, it's not.
Well, it will be. It will be used as an ingredient, as a base for the sauce. Yeah.
I'm not going to count water as an ingredient.
Well, it's pasta. It's salty starch water. The reason why you use
okay,
this
I mean, if you want to, sure.
No. I'm just explaining why we use it. So the pasta will release starch And that combined with the saltiness is what we need for the base of our sauce. All right, guys, we've cooked them for about 6 minutes now. This is when I'm gonna start tasting them. So I'm just gonna take one out. Now I want it pretty technical difficulty. One. There we go. Just want one of them. Oh, this is gonna be hot. Okay, so I'm looking for it to be slightly before al dente. I'm guessing about 30 minutes, 30 seconds, more, 30 minutes. We'll have pasta porridge. All right, I think we're ready. So what I'm gonna do now is take our pasta water. I'm actually gonna take it in here because it's a little bit easier. It's better to have too much here than too little. So whatever you need, depending on what dish you're making, just make sure that you save more than you think you need. All right. The rest I'm gonna drain. Now I have my pasta that can just rest in the pot to the side while we make our sauce. So here we go. We'll start off with that much. For this dish, we're gonna need butter, Parmesan Reggiano, a bunch of fresh basil, and last but not least, pepper. Now we're gonna incorporate our butter to our sauce. We're gonna use quite a lot of butter, but just take one at a time or two at a time, and then slowly mix it in. The starch and the salt and the butter is gonna make this relatively thick, but then at the end we're gonna add some Parmesan Reggiano. So for now, just slowly incorporate the butter, making sure that all the butter is melted before you add 2 more sticks or 2 more knobs. This can take a little bit of time, so have some patience. A little tip for you guys. If you're making this for a lot of people, what you can do is make this in a big bowl, but then have an immersion blender and stick it through while you're doing this. That way it'll help with emulsifying the sauce. All right, last 2 sticks of butter and then we're ready. Now that that's all mixed up, we're gonna add our Parmesan Reggiano. We're gonna use about half of it, but not all at once. Like the butter, just a little bit at a time. Mix it up. This is gonna melt quite fast, so you don't have to spend as much time as the butter, just a little bit at a time. That way, it'll melt nice and easily and it'll thicken up our sauce.
I think I just took your Tinder profile picture.
Okay, if I get any matches, it'll be for you. All right, now that it's starting to thicken up quite well, I'm seeing like the juices are quite thick now. Now I'm gonna add our pasta back into this sauce. All right, guys. Now, here's the trick about this sauce, okay? We want the sauce to get every part of pasta, and we also want it to thicken and get lots of air into it. Sometimes you get big pans with a lot of ingredients in them, and it's quite difficult to stir it up heavily and get everything as mixed up as possible. However, what you can do, take a lot of the rest of your Parmesan, spread it around, and here comes the tricky part, is put your pan up, lean it to the one side, and then flip it back. That way, the sauce gets a lot of air in it, and you mix it up. You can, as you can see, some droplets will fall here and there, but that's fine. No problem whatsoever. All right, I'm gonna add the rest of our Parmesan Reggiano and a whole bunch of pepper. Here I have some fresh basil. I'm gonna save a couple of these for garnish at the end, and the rest all in right now. These are gonna wilt a little bit, meaning, I guess, cook. Can you find the definition for wilt for me?
All right, I'll put it in the box.
Yeah. All right. And that is it, guys. Just get any serving. I prefer a bowl to this because it can get quite juicy, and just grab how much you want. Sprinkle it with a little bit of Parmesan, a little bit of freshly cracked pepper, and a couple nice big basil leaves. And that, my friends, is pasta Alfredo curry style. Time to see.
So first off, presentation,
Yeah?
A+.
Hey!
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go.
A lot of taste of the cheese.
Yeah. I actually want more pepper.
Yeah, you know, I'll try it with more pepper. The pasta's cooked perfectly, right? I would say that there's a little bit too much of the cheese taste.
Do you think that's a personal preference, or do you think it's actually too much?
It is probably a personal preference, but it is definitely good. So,
I would actually agree with you. Maybe a little bit too much Parmesan.
okay. As I said, a little bit strong on the cheese taste, but cooked perfectly. I'm gonna give this a 4
Out of 5.
out of 5, yeah. And you used 4 ingredients, so that'll give you a total of 3 then, because you were 1 over the limit. But I'm happy you were, because this is good.
I think 3.5 should be more fair, but okay.
I'm sure you do. Okay, good job.
Thank you. If you ever want to make this yourself, pasta Alfredo's is a very traditional dish, usually made with cream and lots of butter and everything else, maybe even roasted pine nuts. There are tons of variations out there, but this was a way to make it very simply, relatively fast, to be honest. It's a pretty easy dish to just kick out one on, you know, Friday night. And so delicious.
Really good. Really good. Great job.
I'll see you later, guys.
See you later.